A good morning. What's today? Tuesday, December 29th. So this will probably close out for now, letting it go and setting boundaries as in my particular situation, I've come to more clarity, I guess. Yesterday, uh, I'm I'm the eternal optimist, and regardless of many people's opinions, I'm a nice person, and I tend to, I'd rather be too nice. It requires, and just in case you're wondering, it's whenever I look at the other videos, it just looks cool with the microphone in front of it, so I just put the microphone. So, yeah, when it comes to people, because letting it go, it's all situational. Everything in life is situational. Depends on who it is, what it is, where it's at, all that good stuff. So, yeah, this particular situation came to an head, and we just had to put it to an end, which is good. But it made me think later, as far as what I was thinking about yesterday with boundaries, what type of boundaries to set, how to set them. And an analogy popped in my head of a castle and a drawbridge. So this particular situation, I feel like it's a drawbridge. The bridge goes up, and you can't come across that moat until I want to let it down, and then I have the option to let it up and let it down. And I think that's kind of what it's going to be going forward with this particular situation. But I also find myself, I look for, when you go through these problems, is what did Einstein say? Insanity is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So when I'm not getting the results that I'm wanting, when things stick in my mind too much, which they do for a lot of us. They have me for years. I would just beat myself up. It would mess up my work. It would mess up my sleep. And over the years, I've had to develop, and I've learned and listened to different people and tried different things. And if you notice, I'll talk a lot about breathing. We tend to hold our breath. We hold our breath way more than we realize, especially in tense situations. So when you do, if you've decided to go with the Sedona method, which you call it whatever you want, if you're thinking of a problem or a situation, you need to sit down with it and give it the attention it desires, that it deserves, rather. And it's fleeting, right? One minute you're like, okay, this is good. I got this. Because when you're dealing with people just, they say something, and that's why I think uh, a lot of many people that are in abusive relationships, it's, because after the abuse, it's, oh, I'm sorry, oh, I love you, and everything's good for a while. So you want so bad for that to work. You want so bad for that to be the thing that you forget. And then the abuse happens again, and time goes on, and then you go back. Uh, and abuse can be, verbal, physical, I mean, you can define abuse however you want. So you have to, you keep coming back to it and say, this is it. You know, you have to put that drawbridge up and say that's it. You know, they have to stand out there until this or this has to happen before you let that bridge back down. But in the meantime, while you're trying to move on and get your things done, you know, these thoughts pop up in your head, right? I mean, boom, and you're like, oh man. And if you're trying to do things, you have to be able to isolate that thought and get it out of the way until you can go, if you need to, go sit down later and just sit there and give it the time that it's calling for. Breathe, oxygen, oxygen. We need oxygen. It's breathe, and then this is for if you've gone through the exercises and you're pretty much you have clarity where you want to be with the situation. And you just tell yourself, let it go. Let that thought go. Now, if it's let it go and you need to finally let it go for good or let it go till you can address it later. And then the goal for the day, every day, is to feel good, right? You want to feel good. So look for things that make you feel good. If that thought doesn't make you feel good, breathe. Tell yourself, let it go. And if it goes away for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, that's good, right? If it pops back up, let it go. Feel good. Think of a happy thought. You know, have that good anchor, happy thought, whatever it is, puppy dogs or something that makes you feel good, happy, whatever. And that's what's helping me move on, move forward onto a brighter day. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.